Welcome everybody back to the Loophole Podcast. I'm your host Loopie. Alongside me is also your new host, Jelani Moonah.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself quickly for those who do not know you, because you are going to be part of the crew of the Loophole Podcast. So, man, tell us about yourself.
So, my name is Jelani Moonah, and I am the new host, one of the new hosts of the Loophole Podcast, and basically what I do is I have my own show called the Jelani Moonah Show on Instagram, where I go live, and I'm supposed to have a live stream later today at 8 o'clock p.m., and there's a lot of things that go on with it. Like yesterday, for example, was something that I wasn't really able to kind of say much because of the topic that was at hand.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
That topic. We're gonna get on with it, bro, because it was a lot. But first, I want to say hello to everybody. Today was actually supposed to be the 50th episode of the Loophole Podcast, but I realized that I did not even record an episode 46, so I had to go renumber all the episodes, and we're one episode off. So, I mean, if it's not today, then it's next week. But at least we have the new look. It has been blessed upon us by the man himself, Maui Creative, on YouTube. You can check him out on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter under the same handle. He's the one that made everything just look great, and yeah, man, I'm super glad to have worked with Maui to make this new graphical design, because we needed it, bros. We needed it, and especially with Jelani being part of the podcast now, and when I thought this was episode 50, not episode 49. I thought everything worked well, but things can't work too well.
Yeah.
Which is why we're going to be talking about yesterday's episode of the Jelani Moonah Show. Jelani, since this is, your show, would you like to briefly explain what was the topic at hand? And why we couldn't control the situation? Because I would, for the first time in a while, I was not even part of the show anymore. I was just there as a commenter.
Yes. So really, what went on was the discussion of religion and how Christianity came to be. And the reason why I couldn't really say much is because I'm not really I don't really know that much about religion at all. I've never read the Bible. I don't even know any specific verses or anything. I didn't realize that Christianity and Judaism were linked together. So really, I'm very uneducated in religion. So many things went on to the point where there was a lot of arguing going on, because there's apparently many different versions of Christianity, and I mean, I know that there are several variations of it, like Catholicism and Protestant, but one thing I feel like is the way that was going on. I feel like people will have different beliefs of religion because it's not really a set in stone. There's many different interpretations of it, and like I said, I couldn't intervene because I'm just uneducated on religion. I don't even know if God exists or not. I'm not the type of person that would really care if God exists or not, because
you wouldn't really theorize on it.
I wouldn't theorize on it because it's just something that I wouldn't go into. I like to focus more on the things that goes on in real life and in modern times, like stuff that happens currently. like politics, for example, because that's some. Even though I don't really like how divisive politics are, it's at least something that I can grasp on because
Definitely.
it's something. Yeah, because it's something that happens everywhere. When you open your browser, when you type into a search engine, you're gonna find everything on politics. You're gonna find everything because it's just stuff that happens all the time. Like, for example, when I go on my browser, when I open it up, all I see is just a lot of things about political stuff, about the right and the left, but I don't really see that much about religion at all. I don't even get anything religious based at all.
Yeah, it was one of the moments where we realized that talk about religion on your show, all right, especially when everybody had a different opinion and everybody was okay, I'm not saying everybody was disrespectful about it, but some people were disrespectful about it. And this is not me, going out of like favoritism or being biased towards someone or whatever, okay? My opinion is that I have reason to believe with what I saw, many people were not at all in the best mindset to even debate or have a
Yeah.
proper elaborate conversation, because religion is such a I you know people might think that it's like the best thing that people have made, or that some higher being has made, or some whatever has come to us. All right, it might be the best thing that has come to us according to a few people. To me, it's a terrible idea. It it's such a touchy subject that you can't look in everybody's perspectives anymore, because each person is forcing their perspective on the other person and saying that that is fact. There are how many interpretations of the Bible are there in the world? How many,
Yeah.
like, one of the dudes on the live was pulling Bible verses from the internet when he has a Bible himself at home. Since you know so much about the Bible, why can't you go to your Bible and find the verse where your Bible is, not the internet? Because the internet is just going to find, in terms of keywords, all right, no matter how many hundreds or thousands or whatever interpretations of the Bible there are, this internet search software or whatever he used to, I guess, pinpoint the keywords is going to most likely look towards one of the interpretations of the Bible that actually talks about this. And it calls for a lot of division, and I can understand how different religions can't respect each other because it goes against, a person's beliefs, but it be your own religion. And especially you see that on your, like, on the stream, bro. It be your own religion, and people still push their beliefs into you because their life experience basically matters more to them than to you. And it calls for a lot of confusion, a lot of division, and a lot of virtue signaling.
Yeah.
And
But one thing I kind of wonder, though. One
Doc,
thing I kind of wonder. What?
uh, I was gonna say one thing because Doc is in the stream. Happy birthday, Doc! By the way, have a good one, bro. Uh, I hope you're celebrating a good birthday. But uh, what I meant to say is that, like, yesterday's, I think he handled it like a champ. All right, because this dude was going off, going like, "Oh, the demons have come out. The demons have come out of you. May the power of fucking, I don't know." The dude was creeping me out, alright? Doc, bro, he handled that in the best way possible by provoking him. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe other people might
Yeah.
think that it's disrespectful, but from someone who just is not at all invested into any kind of religion, I do have reason to believe that there is a higher being responsible for this, but I'm not following that person, all right? It's more of like a relationship thing with this higher being, kind of like what Doc has explained yesterday, except me, I'm not really into the specifics.
The one thing I was kind of a bit angry about was the fact is I couldn't really intervene. Because one thing that people criticize me for on my show is that sometimes I go through like a period of time where I just don't talk because everyone else is talking. And like, I'm supposed to be the host, so I'm supposed to be talking all the time. Even though I do like the discussion sometimes. I do like to see what other people have to say. I don't like to interrupt. Sometimes when I do, for example, like it's always accidental when I accidentally interrupt. I never interrupt on purpose. I never like interrupting anyone because I always like to see and hear what people have to say and talk about, because it makes me learn something. It makes me learn about this. But religion is one of those things that I would never want to go into, because it's the fact that there's many different interpretations.
Definitely.
Religion is just an opinion at the end of the day. It can never be right or wrong. It's your belief. A belief is an opinion, and only an opinion. It should not be treated as fact, because how can you prove this?
How can you
There's no way.
Yeah. I mean, I think our beliefs are quite similar, Jelani, which is why we can actually, have a normal conversation about this.
Yeah.
And I'm not pushing anything into you. You're not pushing anything into me. So it's logical to say that, religion at the end of the day is an opinion on a story in which we cannot prove because of it happening thousands of years ago. And things like that. Now, hey, if it's real, all right, cool. Show me where the divinity is. All right, I've been watching Lucifer on Netflix. You better fucking tell me that shit is real, okay? But if it ain't, don't waste my time. If there's ways that you can prove it, I'm open to hear it. If there's ways to disprove it, I'm open to hear it. It's just mind-boggling how much people are very invested into something they believe, that they push it onto other people, and it's just like, no, you just have to say, like, stop, bro. You're taking this like way out of order. And I feel like that's what happened with one of the individuals on this show. He did not know how to act, bro. I swear. And he was, he had some good points, but at the same time, he was unhinged. He was just pushing beliefs down to people's throats, pushing his beliefs on one spiritual guy, or pushing his beliefs on someone who has a particular relationship with Jesus Christ, rather differing to other people. They just want to be right from a moral high ground. And yeah, Doc, that is what I read, that from. Yeah, that is correct. They just want to be right from a moral high ground. And how can you factualize what is said on the Bible? How can anything be a fact if the Bible itself cannot be proven to be real or fake?
Yeah. But I think it just goes with everything. Like, for example, like with politics, for example, sometimes I like to hear about it, but most of it I don't like to hear about it, because a lot of it is opinionated things that people like to treat as facts. And really, everything that's opinionated, people are going to treat it as fact because it's what they believe in. And people are going to defend their beliefs. I can understand. Like, when you get into an argument, you're going to defend whatever you know. However, I feel like it gets to the point where it's just pointless because really there is like respect the beliefs, respect everyone's. If they believe that there's one thing and you believe that it's another, respect it.
Of course.
Don't say that it's wrong because it can't be wrong. It can't be right either, but it can't be wrong. So
Yeah.
don't say that it is wrong because it's just what they know. It's what they know.
Yeah. And I can understand how like many people were raised under religions. I mean, my school and parts of my family like overseas wanted me to be Christian. They were pushing that down to me like as a kid. They wanted to baptize me and I was about to do it, all right, at the school, but then I realized, hold on. I don't even know what the fuck I want. Honestly, I don't want to have to rely on on a being that I don't know if it's real or not. And that is no offense to anybody that does, all right? Because all the power to you if you know, if you believe that a higher being contributed to all the success in your life, please keep on going because, I respect you and you definitely have a bright future ahead of you. But Mike saying absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That's not what we said because I said how can we prove this? How can we push beliefs into other people's based on something that cannot be proven to be real or fake? Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence in the sense where you can't prove it's the truth and you can't prove that it's not the truth.
Yeah. And I think that's where it comes along because no one really knows. I think that's what it is really because we don't know anything. We don't really know that much of anything. So we believe in things that we may or may not know could be true or not. So but I think it's just there's always going to be forcing of opinions. There's always going to be yeah, with everything really. I could say that apples are better than bananas. I could say that pineapples are good on pizza. I could say that. However, I don't want people to say, "Well, you're wrong for that. Pineapple should never go on pizza," because it's an opinion. It's an opinion at the end of the day. If I like what I like, if I like the taste of pineapple on pizza, then I'm going to like it because it's just what I enjoy. Like my favorite type of pizza is pineapple and chicken on a pizza, and if someone says, "Oh, that's wrong," and that it can't be wrong.
Yeah.
It can never ever be right or wrong. It's always going to be an opinion that I have.
Yeah, of course.
You can't control what I like or not like. You can't force me to change what I want. I change what I want, not you.
That was a great analogy. Yeah, definitely. I mean, to kind of summarize, I mean, like my belief is that it is wrong. Will I go bash you for eating pineapple on pizza and liking it? No. On the back of my mind, I'll kind of think you're weird. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Because I do have this thing on the back of my mind, like, really, bro? But at the same time, I'm not gonna push it onto you. If you like pineapple on pizza, eat pineapple on pizza. If you want to make a freaking ravioli on top of your pizza, do it. If you want some burnt tortellinis over your pizza, do it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
push it onto you and be like, "Oh, that's disgusting." Because I feel like with pushing opinions and pushing different beliefs on people, that happens with everything, and namely politics, which you did make a good point about. And the only reason why politics is more interesting to talk about than religion is because you're able to see only 2 sides and maybe even more. You need to study a lot more about 4, 5, 6 different religions rather than knowing about political positions and how they act.
Yeah, because politics is what dictates what we do. Like basically, like the rules and laws of societies based on politics.
Of course.
If they wanna create a new rule, if they wanna create like a new law saying you can't do this or you can do this, that's based on politics. That's based on what the lawmakers make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's been any rule that has been made based on religion, really, because basically I don't see me getting prosecuted or arrested. I don't see myself getting arrested by a spiritual being. I see myself getting arrested by a human being.
Yeah. But at the same time, with religion, there are rules. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be about Christianity because there's a lot of things with Christianity. But let's take Islam for example. All right, Ramadan, the act of not drinking, not putting tattoos on, or not smoking. I mean, not doing anything to ruin your skin or ruin whatever internal body part you were born with, or the idea of making it okay for polyamorous relationships because of religion. I mean, that's just what I learned with different religions.
Or even having like women wear like hijabs or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, the hijabs, because as a as a Muslim woman or man, I'm not too familiar with the whole hijab thing, but the religion does consist of covering yourself, and it's controversial in the sense where people might think it's normal, like let people believe whatever they want to believe, or it's controversial in the sense where you're doing this, like this bare minority, okay, is doing this in a country that is mostly Christian. Ban that shit, right? Here in France, I'm actually glad to live in a country that does not give a fuck about any religion, because of the simple reason that everybody has to act the same exact way no matter what religion you are. You are not allowed to push your beliefs on other people in this country, all right? And having, pork, okay? Pork in school canteens, all right? They'll put pork in school, in school canteens, but hey, you can get rid of the pork if you don't want the pork. It's optional.
Yeah.
All right? That's controversial in France. So, there are some rules, for example, for religion, but is it really measured or kept track by a real human being that wrote this in some kind of law book? Because the only thing that, really made these rules or verses or whatever important were, their respective religious books, like the Holy Bible or the Quran, and other things, right? So personally, I can understand the whole thing with the rules with religions, but me, like, the only thing I follow is the law, because I don't want to have to break the law. I don't want to have to go to jail or risk my freedom because of breaking rules that, even if you might find unfair, in some parts, or it depends how laws are, in different countries. I mean, here it's terrible. So that's why I'm, saying that even if you have to, do things in order to keep your freedom, you got to do it, right? With religion, not everybody follows the same rules, okay? So you will have a Christian that'll just keep saying the F word, or FouseyTube, who is a Muslim, has tattoos all over his face, or not his face, but his body, that I think he got removed. But regardless, he already broke.
Yeah, he had like a hair tattoo.
A hair tattoo. Oh, 'cause bald, right? Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find that funny, not because of like the religion part, but I don't know. I'm thinking about so many memes from like way back, but or not swearing or not saying Lord's name in vain. Those are rules that only people who are part of a religion follow, and some people just don't agree with that because they were not raised in a way where, hey, you can think whatever you want to think and you can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to be following rules off of a book that, again, all right, this is my opinion, so this is not me pushing my beliefs on anybody, but again, cannot be proved true or cannot be proved false.
Yeah, because there's like many different, like Duck on a live stream before told me that there's like mistranslations of the Bible, because when the Bible was written, it was written in many different languages and many different forms. So of course one Bible is going to be different from the other, because the languages are not consistent, because it's not consistent between either version. And I think that could also lead to a lot of confusion as well, is because it's based on what the person who's writing the Bible, what they believe themselves is the correct way of the Bible, but it's not going to be accurate. And another thing is, I feel like with this whole religion, like religious, political, everything, I feel like it's a matter of gatekeeping. Because on my live stream yesterday, people were always saying that you're not a true Christian, or you're not a real Christian if you believe, other parts.
That's bullshit, bro. That's some true bullshit, okay? I don't follow any religion, so I'm going to keep on swearing. That's some true bullshit, alright? And the only reason I say that is because people do that with every single activity or every single thing in society. You don't believe in a certain thing to do with politics, you are not a real American. Something that you believe in, it goes against other people's beliefs in terms of politics, you are not a real American. You play orthodox, you play unorthodox in boxing, and other people play orthodox in boxing, but you do it in a way that is unique to you. But I don't know, no one really seems to agree with it. You're not a real boxer. Or if you don't know enough about boxing while you're learning about boxing, you're not a real boxer. If you don't know about one certain artist, which nobody fucking knows, you're not a real rapper, you're not a real music fan, you are not a real thing. You are not a real human being if you do not know, or if you do not believe in something that they believe, and that is fucked.
I feel like everything should be played like you play a card of Uno. Like, I feel like everything should be played like you play Uno. You play by your own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play by your own rules, but you don't intervene with everyone else's rules.
Yeah, because the rules of Uno, I can understand the analogy, because like the rules of Uno are always confused.
Yeah.
You always have to like come with an agreement with different friends when you play Uno. I mean, I play with my mother, with Uno, so it's much easier to play with my mother, at Uno rather than other friends, in school or something, because they just pull the weirdest shit ever, and you're like, where does that even come from?
Yeah,
So,
but I think what it also can be is, but I think the reason why everything seems like so imperfect with everything, like religion and politics and everything, well, with the world and society as a whole, is because, when you always say that something is human, it says it's imperfect. Like, we're all human, we all make mistakes. So I feel like because we all make mistakes, there's nothing that's perfect in the world, because every single person has a different definition of perfection.
of course, yeah. Perfectionists have a different, definition of perfect. And words, I mean, like something that Saint said. What's up, Saint? Welcome to the stream, man. Glad to see you here, bro. Something that Saint said that was interesting, in yesterday's stream, was that words change over hundreds of years. All right?
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. The word nice that we all know, which is nice, did not always mean nice. It meant weird. It meant something completely different, all right? So when you would say that something is weird, you would say, hey, this bucket of popcorn is pretty nice. But instead, you're saying that it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
So, really, words change over the years, and with these mistranslations and like everything, these interpretations, things change. And how many interpretations of the Bible are there?
Yeah. There's probably like thousands, because you gotta realize, because it's been made over many different generations. Like probably since like the start of civilization. Because I know, like, it's in many different languages and well, and I don't even know how many languages exist in the world. And since languages fluctuate so many times,
Definitely.
the languages of the past are not the languages of the present.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they might be connected in a way, it's not the exact same language. Like we don't speak, because 1600s English is different to 2000s English.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we read a lot of Shakespeare, and we're all confused as to what Shakespeare is writing, or what Oscar Wilde is writing, because this was made, I think, in the 1800s. Oscar Wilde's stuff. I might be completely wrong, but I don't know. I mean, let's take, for example, the Declaration of
Independence.
No, human rights. The human rights, because we actually call the human rights list. We call it the Declaration of Man's Rights and of the Citizen. That's what we call it in France. But with human rights, things have changed. All right, words have changed because time changes. We all evolve. All right, and there are many different interpretations of human rights. Guess what? We go with the latest interpretation of human rights. Why? Because we can keep everything up to date. The Bible is not trackable. How many human beings spent time rewriting the Bible because they thought there was a mistake in whatever Bible they took? And maybe that Bible was already a correction of what someone may have thought was a mistake, and then so on and so forth. It's a loop of mistaken Bibles. There will never be a correct Bible. There will never be a correct Bible because there are so many. And it's the same with the Quran. It's the same with other books. There will never be a correct Bible. It's whatever you pick is has been living with you for your whole family life, basically, is the one you go with, really. What did I walk in on? This is so interesting. Well, what's up, Crypt? This is the podcast. kind of talking about what happened in his show yesterday because of a conversation that spiraled out of control, which had the topic of religion. You know, I'm actually so like happy about, you know, having this conversation because we I think we share the same beliefs. I mean, you know, I don't.
This is the stuff.
Like,
this is the stuff I wanted to say last night, but I couldn't because everyone was being so argumentative, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to unfairly kick anyone off because the comment section there's like so many people saying, "Oh, remove him. No, keep him. Do this. Add me or whatever." And I see when you got so many people wanting you to do things differently to how you want it to be. You're confused. You're going to always be confused.
that was my first. Yeah, that was my first thought. Okay, and I will tell you exactly how to put your foot down in this situation. All right. So you can take this with a grain of salt, or you can take this for a good advice or whatever. But my advice is when people direct you in a way that they think is right, because that's also another interpretation of what they think is right. Okay, we live in a world where everything is an interpretation of what people think is right. So with people telling you, oh, kick this person, add this certain individual, or hit up this certain individual, wait for him to join the stream, add him, kick this guy, add this dude. You just say enough and you kick everybody and you start over and you're like, okay, I would like to talk, you know, a whole new topic and try to add some newer people. So in this case, what you could have done with this tank top dude, Doc and Amreen, I think were there, or this spiritual guy or whatever, is in this case, just halt it, bro. Stop everything, you know, start over. Start with a new topic, because you're never going to start with a new topic if everyone is thinking about the old topic at hand. Okay?
Yeah.
So with that, right, with you kicking everybody from the stream temporarily, obviously, you start over, you instantly think of a new topic at hand. You try to talk with the people in comments and try to add people that weren't involved with the whole religion talking. Add them slowly. You can add Doc if Doc is, you know, for example, you know, he let that conversation go so we can talk about something new, and then so on and so forth. Because I have a feeling that yesterday was the most difficult episode that I've seen of your show.
Yeah.
So much as far as to say, like, I wasn't even in the live anymore. I didn't even check if I had the lemon or not.
Yeah.
So really, in the case where people tell you to do different things and different people tell you to do different things, which is basically religion or basically politics, basically anything, okay, you put your foot down and start over. Don't end the live, I mean, but like just start over.
Yeah, because how it was originally, the reason why I actually went live yesterday was so that Doc could talk to someone who thought of him as a creep, and like to get to know Doc as like the person that he actually is, and not a creep at all. But someone wanted to bring someone who is about spiritual stuff, and I guess that's how it escalated. Yeah. I didn't even think that it would escalate this far, because, like I've said, I'm not that educated in religion or anything, so I didn't even know how it could have been. But I guess with everything, really, everything can always turn into an argument. You know, we could always, like, we could literally argue about what color something is.
Yeah.
Like, remember the whole black and blue and white and gold dress thing?
Yeah. I mean, that's another way to, like, holy shit, the analogies, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you're really going at it today. No. There was a question in the chat from Cryptid asking what religion we follow. So, me personally, I do not follow any religion. I have reason to believe there is a higher being, but I'm not following.
And for me, I don't follow any religion at all. I don't even know if God exists or not. I can't prove it, if he exists or if he doesn't exist. Though I do. One thing I'm interested in religiously is how we're like what happens after death, because it's a thing that happens to every single one of us. But it's like, are we going to go to are we going to go to heaven? Are we going to go to hell? Are we going to be reincarnated? Like, that's the one thing that interests me about religion more than everything else, because it's something that is going to happen to everyone. But as even because it's something that I can apply to myself. Like, I'm going to die. Where am I going to go afterwards? Is my spirit going to be born somewhere else? Or is it just going to be just blank, just nothingness? Is it just going to be how it is when you fall asleep? You know, eyes closed, can't see anything, just pitch black all the time. That's something I can apply to myself. Nothing about, oh, if I'm a god myself, or if there's a higher being. I can't apply that to myself, because really, it's not anything that I really know about that much.
Yeah, interesting. Me, with the whole death thing, with me is that it's either hell or heaven actually exists, and everything actually exists from whatever religion, okay? Because, hey, religions, okay, different religions, they all have a connect with each other, okay? They all connect to each other. Why? Because it's different fucking interpretations of what the fuck happened before the world was created, okay? And that's also different interpretations, okay? So there was, Judaism, people have reason to believe that Jesus Christ was actually a Jew. People think, Christians think that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I don't know what Muslims believe in Jesus Christ, because I don't think they really talk about him that much. I think they talk about
they believe in I think they believe in Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
Which I think is a different thing in general. Like some people, like Buddhists and Hindus, they believe in other. I think Buddhists and Hindus, I think they're polytheistic, meaning they believe in multiple gods.
Yeah, and the third eye. I think it's more. I think the third eye is more like based on the Buddhists rather than the Hindus. I'm not entirely too sure, or I'm just talking out of my ass and I don't know. But no, but we're going to eventually shift out of like the whole religion talk, because we have been going for 45 minutes on the topic of religion. That's
but see, people were able to go on for 2 hours about religion on my show, so.
Bro, honestly, like I said, man, it had to stop, bro. Next time some things spiral out of control, whether it's the Hayden situation, which I feel like is more easy to manage than people talking about religion.
Because in that case, it's just a matter of what someone's going to do
gossip.
To me.
It's just gossip.
Yeah, it's just gossip, and that's easy because because that's actually fun, because it's something that I could actually apply to myself. Like, oh, am I going to get beat up or not? That's something that is real life. That's something that can't be interpreted in many different ways. It's just, is he going to beat me up or is he not going to beat me up? That's it. It's just two.
No. There's a challenger incoming. Apparently, he's gonna shoot you.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot me, apparently. I guess now it's becoming interpretation. Like, what is he going to do to me? Is he going to jump me? Is he gonna smack the shit out of me? Is he going to trip me over? That's actually something that is
Is he
more
gonna?
funny.
Yeah. Is he gonna steal your lunch?
Yeah. It's actually something that I look up to. I look things up because I look up about the gang life, like the Chirac thing. That's actually something that I actually look up because it's something that I feel like is interesting to me because it's just how other people live, seeing the other side, the more dangerous side of life. That is the urban cities.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people say the ghetto or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about ghetto in France, we're fucking like I'm saying that as like the media, okay? We're fucking out of order, bro. This whole ghetto place that just started because of like just a complete discharge of immigrants. They called this ghetto place the jungle. You might have heard about this. It's the jungle on the northern part of France. All right, like the border to either. I mean, you can only go what you can only go to Germany, but yeah, on the border of Germany, type shit. Um, we call it the jungle. It's I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that just take things in different ways, and yeah, learning about the street life, not being about it, obviously not being about it,
Yeah,
because this was not the way that you were brought up. I mean, the people who are in that street life or gang life or whatever were brought up to be that way, and you can clearly tell who was brought up to be part of the gang life
yeah,
and who just decided to do it because it was hip. And
yeah,
funnily enough, the person in question that goes on your streams to talk that shit, okay, fits in one of those guys that are about that gang life because they decided it's cool and hip. Because there
yeah.
are people, like, there are gang members, bro, that do this shit out of survival, bro.
Yeah, out of love and survival.
Yeah. They love their city. They want to show their place in the city by just owning it basically or representing a something that also shouldn't really matter because it's gangs. I'm not, I'm not shitting on gangs, all right? So, whatever gangs you guys know, please don't kill us, all right? But at the same time, I feel like there's a huge disconnect between people who are actually brought up and grown up this way, all right? Born, brought up by family, unfortunately, because, the whatever. This was the guy that I timed down from from the last stream. All right, well, cool. Nobody asked. Oh, he's spamming it. All right, whatever. You can
Yeah.
you can tell Izzy I said hi.
But like, how is like the drill music, like music that's about like killing and stuff? How is that in France?
Um, I mean it exists. I mean that's a start. Secondly, it's shit, and thirdly, it's less intimidating than the UK shit. All right, like the UK
Yeah,
drill, it's more intimidating, even though I don't live in the UK, rather than French gangster rap. Actually, the most intimidating thing for me back in like 2012, 2013, even 2014, because I was listening to like some old rap back then, was the was the start of rap in the 80s and the 90s. All right, I didn't know all the artist names. All right, I just knew music. I just was listening to music as a child. I wasn't really paying attention to all the artist names. But the more intimidating parts of rap is the American gangster rap that emerged from the 80s and the 90s, because that's how it started. It started in the Bronx and it just evolved as how it is today.
Yeah, because with the United States, since it's like the First Amendment, like with songs, it's very rare that you can get incriminated for the stuff that you say in rap songs. That's why, like, because I was watching a video on like the comparison between U.S. and U.K. Drill songs, and one thing is that a lot of drill songs from the UK get taken down because they can actually be used to incriminate you. They can be. That's why it's like censored. Some of it is like censored, like the names of people that have been killed, because it can be used against you in law, and it can be like shadow banned apparently. Now, in the U.S., there has been people that have been incriminated for songs. For example, Bobby Shmurda has.
Definitely.
Yeah, he got incriminated for what he said in his songs. But most likely, you are able to get away with what you say. There's like a lot of drill songs where they mention so many horrible things about what they do to, like, they diss the dead so hard in these songs.
Oh, bro, like sometimes I can't even like listen to the rest of the song because
Yeah.
I mean, the most popular one that you will think of, or the one that recently got viral, the one with Young and A spinning bands and everyone like going like, "Ooh, I smoke." Okay, that was like the most viral one, but there was one where it goes like, "Man's got put in a pack, he's dead. Da-da-da, put him in a pack, he's dead." That one.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one.
Dead, or 6ix9ine, you know, dissing the dead, you know, in some of his rap songs, or just sometimes in like, bro, sometimes I can't even listen to the rest of the song because I'm like, oh, fuck, bro. Like these shits had a family, bro. Like,
Yeah.
King Von, bro, you know, it was about that gang life, and unfortunately had to deal with a life where he had to prove himself to the ops.
Yeah, and he died because of that gang life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that he did live as long as he did, because a lot of these people that are in the gang life die at before the age of 20.
X died at 20. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was gang violence. I mean, it was gang violence probably by those who wanted X dead.
I think it was a robbery. I think that's why.
Yeah, it was definitely a robbery.
Yeah.
But it was a robbery for like it did have some motives. Like
I don't know how old Pop Smoke was when he died, but I think that was because of
he was
20.
I think, right? He was 20 or wait. Wait. If I actually look, wait, Pop Smoke. He died at 20. Yeah, he was about to turn 21 in July, and he died.
Yeah.
February 2020. So like, bro, Tupac was, you know, forced into a record label in order to, you know, be free. All right, he was in prison, and yep, Nipsey as well. Tupac and Biggie both died based on gang violence.
Yeah.
It's tough out here, bros. It's tough, and it won't stop. It just will not stop. And what can we do about it, really?
Like in the UK, since like having a gun is like illegal, basically, what they do is they stab people.
Empty your pockets, I'ma shank you.
Yeah. Just imagine that. Just imagine stabbing someone, because I feel like stabbing someone has to be more of an experience than shooting someone, because you're actually close to someone. You're stabbing them, which you have to do multiple times. Because with a gun, you could shoot someone once and they're instantly dead.
Yeah.
if you shoot them in the head or something. But with a stabbing, it's like, I feel like in a way, it's like more. I don't want to use the wrong word because I know it's like because like I'm thinking of a word that's like intimate, but it's not like not in like that type of way, but it's like more of like a very close feeling, as I would say. Like a very close feeling.
I've had dreams like no weird shit, okay? Like I've had maybe like one or two dreams of the possibility, okay? Not, the need or the want, but the possibility, the idea of stabbing someone. And every time I've had this, it was me stabbing someone, but feeling, feeling me, like feeling the stab, as the knife just pierces through the skin, you feel it too, because that's a piece of skin that was freaking breached by a knife, and you're like, oh fuck. So like you wake up and you're like, yo, like I don't know. I think it's trippy. I don't know if anyone has had like any kind of like terrible curiosity. I'm not saying that I dreamed about the need or the want, but I dreamed about the possibility. It's terrible, bros. It's terrible. Like even getting shot in a dream is terrible. Normally you have some oxygen left to talk. In dreams, you get shot once, no matter where you get shot, even if it's in the foot, you're dead. You don't speak no more.
Yeah, but I think it's because like when you're stabbing someone, you're kind of like staring them in the eyes a bit because it's like you're stabbing at their heart. So like you're just like experiencing just taking a life at such a close level. I think like some people actually get off from that. Some people like serial killers, for example, they get like a good feeling from that.
Yeah, like some kind of rush to like do more, and
Yeah.
they think of like so many crude ways of killing somebody that it like you wouldn't even be able to write this in a book, bro. Like if someone was to write something similar to that story, they just wouldn't be able to finish the story. Like just like to tell you like how fucked some murderers are, bro. My hairdresser actually, all right, and this was an actually like well known like a well-known story in France. Like it was streamed on TV like many times, even years later. But my hairdresser from 2012 was stabbed and killed, all right, by her father, all right, but also killed her mother. So first, what happened in the news is that they were missing, all right, but by the time they were reported missing, they already died. And to this day, they still haven't found the bodies of the murders, bro. They still haven't found the bodies.
The victims.
Yeah, these two tombstones. All right, it was because like obviously that story did go viral. I mean, obviously it's a terrible one, and it sucks because it was my hairdresser, bro. I was 7 years old when I last saw her. She was so like happy. She was so like she was about to be Miss France. Like she was qualified for it, and like she was a very happy person, and then her life was taken away by her own father. No one knows why. It's fucked. And then the father did take his own life because of like he just didn't want to get consequences. But yeah, that was my hairdresser, man. Like I forgot like the basis of the conversation. Oh yeah, just how crude murderers are, and like just how they're willing to go as far as to prove a point by just destroying two precious human lives. It's fucked, bro. That was 9 years ago. All right. As any like family member who was close to, both, deaths, both victims, it's a terrible story to talk about, bro. If there's even any family left alive, I think the only family left alive was the uncle and the aunt, which actually are also pretty much like dicks. I mean, like, but anyways, beyond that, the whole violence thing with the rap and drill rap and whatever is never going to stop. However, the United States has some states have passed laws where they will incriminate rappers or musicians that make songs about certain crude things. Eminem making a freestyle about Trump had the Secret Service sent against him based on his comments about Trump in 2017. YNW Melly made a song about murdering his best friend. No one knows if it was real, no one knows if it was fake. He was then arrested for 2 counts of murder. Tay-K, who, just claims to be some ill shit or whatever, goes to jail on 1 count of murder. So, it's fucked, but yeah.
But Tay-K has like 55 years.
Yeah, and he turned like 22, 21, like not a while ago, and he was 18 when he was in prison, bro. Wasted life, bro. Wasted life.
One thing I kind of wonder is like when these people that have long life sentences like get out of prison. Like, just imagine how the experience will be when it's like you hear a rapper that was locked up for life finally get out, and they went from a teenager to an elder.
Yeah, but to tell you the truth, unless the murder is actually true, because people still think that it wasn't actually him, he was involved in it, which still doesn't make it any better or worse. All right. Scheme's dropping an album. Shit. Anyways, what was I about to say? Fuck, I got distracted.
We were talking about life sentences and
yeah. Anyways, the life sentences will never be what they are. Okay. Name me one rapper or artist or whatever that has served exactly 55 years in prison or whatever sentence that was thrown to them. Okay, I can understand 6 or 7 years in prison like Bobby Shmurda, but over 25 years in prison, no one has ever served that much because they've always been lucky with parole or bond or whatever.
I mean, isn't it like without parole?
I mean, mostly without parole. Some people are allowed parole just based off of good behavior sometimes. What up, Rude Knock? Welcome to the podcast. But yeah, it's some fucked shit, honestly. It's some really fucked shit.
Yeah.
But maybe we can go to a lighter topic. We have been going for over an hour and 5 minutes. We've been going we've been going real far with these conversations on the podcast, and once we get all the boys, man, like all the guys on the same episode, y'all will be in here for a treat. And I'm just, giving Jelani the credit for that, because this man has some interesting point of views, and the exchange, man, the communication and just the brainstorming. I mean, like the perspectives. I mean, we do kind of agree with everything that we've talked about in terms of religion. There's never been like any like moment for debate, which some people might find boring, but it was, I mean, for example, talking about religion, this one was a good discussion because there was no unhinged discourse or anything. But
Yeah.
I think, I mean, like, if we have like another topic to go for, we can, but otherwise we can, directly end this podcast. I did hear that Crypt was going to order a new piece of NI merch, so while I wait to talk to about, or while we wait to talk about the sponsor of this episode of the Loophole Podcast. We're back. Okay, this episode of the Loophole Podcast was sponsored by NI. If you want to get yourself a hat or any kind of merch that just has this logo, I can't tell you what it means, but I can tell you what it represents. It's positivity, all right? It's a release of anger and negative energy and converting all of that to like more positive energy. All of the revenue goes to mental health awareness and suicide prevention charities. Sometimes the revenue is used to actually host new giveaways. Okay, like someone can win this. Mike, you have this. Someone can win a free NI shirt. Someone can win a free NI hoodie or whatever. So sometimes we use the revenue from NI to make giveaways. Why? Because we can make the money back from the giveaways, first of all, and second of all, more positivity spreading. Why? Because we can do this. So if you want to get you a hat like this, go to ni.shop. You'll find something like this. It's on the top left of the screen for those who don't know. All right. Well, today was a very good episode, Jelani. How would you believe we did on your first day as a host?
Well, pretty great actually. I think that this podcast will always be an amazing podcast. It's something for me to be able to do, and I'm able to talk about things I want to talk about, which even though I have the show for that, I feel like with this one I'm able to say more because there's a lot more that because I like to get things off of my mind. But with the show, sometimes it goes like how yesterday went. Sometimes it goes off. Sometimes there's points where I just have nothing to really say. And with this, it's more common collective, and it's better in a way. Though
I can understand. I can understand where you're coming from. At the same time, though, you can't beat yourself up for something that you cannot control. I mean, you can control it, all right? There's no excuse for that. You can control it. But in some case where, this happens for the first time ever, when this whole thing that happened yesterday was the first time that this ever happened in my book, all right? This has never been this intense yesterday before, just because we were talking about it was first starting off with like spiritual stuff, and then it went to religious stuff. That was the most intense episode that happened yesterday. The best part about the Loophole Podcast is that having such a great perspective about things, we can discuss as hosts and even with guests, because I've seen you ask some very interesting questions. You've asked me some very interesting questions. All right? Like, you would be perfect for interviewing guests as well, all right? And I don't know, you could be the dude that'd be hosting game shows on this podcast. I know you got some ideas, bro. I mean, not right now, bro, but I know that like with time you'll just be able to, grow some new ideas and, just have a different feel about how things are going. And definitely we are going to be helping you along the way, with the show, even if there's, a lot of things to be done, such as more control which
Oh, see,
I'm
the thing about it though,
yeah.
the thing about it is that there's many different definitions of control. So one person might say it's control, another person might say that it makes it more boring, or it it lessens like the entertainment value, because I know that a lot of people on my show love to see the drama. They love to see it, and really, to one person might say that this is a good thing, but to another person they might say it's a bad thing. And really, it's all like basically this whole podcast has been about, really. It's all about different interpretations of everything. So control. So one thing that I might do might be good for one group, but might not be for another group.
See, you need that's why you need this control that goes smack down the middle, because as an example, for example, Doc has a different definition of control. Saint has a different definition of control. Zim has another definition of control. You need a control that centers everything. Control is often influenced by bias.
Yes.
You, as a talk show host, all right, well, I mean, I kind of consider this a talk show. Your show is definitely going to escalate in that way in the future. I definitely see that. But what was I about to say?
Bias.
Yeah,
Control
bias.
is a
Control.
yeah.
You need a control that either no. You need a control that pisses everybody off, but will be good for the show, because you can start over. Starting over from scratch on the episode, you're like, okay, it's time to stop. Things have gone way out of control. I'm unable to keep this show going because of everything. I'm not saying that it's because of people, but like I'm saying, like, it's because of how far this debate or argument has gone. And you just start over as if you were searching for a new topic to talk about, because something I see is that you try to talk about a new topic while people are fighting, but people are not gonna be like, oh yeah, we should probably talk about a topic, and then the other person's gonna be like, yeah, you better talk about a topic, and then they start fucking fighting again.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too with Amreen. I mean, like, I'm respectful, and like, I hate the dude. Okay, I hate the dude for being fake. He says he hates Izzy and all that shit, but his tags are still associated with Izzy's name, for example. But I do have the respect to keep the entire show going and letting it all aside. I do have things to say on the show sometimes, but I don't keep it going for too long. Like, sometimes I keep myself calm, and I'm like, hey, this is not the time. And I don't even say that it's not the time. I just think to myself that it's not the time. But beyond that, I want to thank everybody for watching the Loophole Podcast. This has been a lot of fun. Definitely was one of the more, I guess, enlightening episodes, considering this is your first day, and at the same time, like, just thinking about how we're gonna just make things better as episodes go, bro. Like,
Yeah.
we're not even at the end of season 2 of this podcast. Season 2 ends at episode 60. Like, it is crazy. I mean, my first time joining in the chat, amazing. I appreciate that we both did that for you, Crypt. And when all 4 of us are hopefully available, definitely, talk about some interesting things. And guess what? We'll have guests. And, the last thing that I want to stress, okay? All right? I've already said this before. I will say it again. And I want to make sure that everyone gets this knowledge, okay? Jelani Moonah of the Loophole Podcast is not a replacement but an addition, okay? I want to make that clear. He is not a replacement.
No.
And as time goes, bro, this episode is proof. This episode is proof that he is not a replacement. This is not some guy that we went to pick up from the fucking corner store and be like, hey, we're gonna put you in front of the camera, talk. No, this is a dude with knowledge, and he clearly knows what he's doing, in terms of conversations and things like that. And with the, I just see it, I just see something with Jelani that definitely is going to help his show and also the podcast.
Yeah.
Incredible addition, definitely. Well, any last words?
Yeah. I kind of wonder what's gonna happen for my show tonight. So I'll use the advice that you have given me for tonight. I'll see how it can apply. However, one thing I do feel like is when I kick everyone out, like it might make, like you said, it will piss everyone off.
Yeah.
But it's a way that I have to work.
Yeah, like you have to go at it with no warning, but at the same time let them know that this is no offense to anybody, but we cannot continue like this. We have to twist this for the better and actually do what the show is meant for. Talking about things that are on our minds, not fighting about it. The whole Hayden thing is funny. The whole me,
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the whole me fighting with Mickey Mouse. I don't even know the kid, all right? The kid that's holding the plushie. But the whole Mickey Mouse thing is hilarious. It's funny. It's part of the podcast. It's chill. I mean, not the podcast, sorry. It's part of the show.
The show,
it's chill, right? Sometimes the hate and beef, even though that it can escalate in some ways, it's running his numbers up, first of all. Right here, it's running this dude's numbers up. Secondly, it's funny because he says the same shit. And thirdly, it's entertaining for some. Now, I don't find, people going after other people entertaining. I just find the situation itself entertaining because it came out of literally nowhere. Those were my 2 cents. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching the Loophole Podcast. This was your boy Loopie and our new host, Jelani Moonah. Thank you guys so much. Bless up and stay hype, and I will see you guys in another Loophole Podcast episode. Next week will be number 50, and happy birthday to Doc, one great supporter of the channel. Thank you for, supporting the channel. Bless up and stay hype. Be kind, as E. Crystal would say. Fuck Lady Gaga and penis.